Welcome, I'm Darren, and today I'll be talking about the Topps vendor boxes of 1988 and 1987. I did some box openings of one of each of these boxes some time ago, and I had a whole bunch of questions I had about it, and I was curious about opening up multiple boxes and seeing how close you could come to a complete set. So I went ahead and I got a bunch of boxes afterwards to really pull through them and see kind of how things would work out. And so I'm going to be talking about what I found over the course of it. I'm going to be talking about really the odds that I was running into and whether or not I could actually get a complete set out of a certain number of boxes. So like I said, the first time I got one box of 88 and one box of 87, and the 87 was mostly doubles. It was 218 doubles in a 500 card box, so that wasn't all that great. Whereas with the 88 I got only 2 doubles, and that meant that I was in good shape in 88, but in 87 I was a long ways away, and I wanted to know if the 87 was an anomaly, and with 88 I wanted to see how many times I could open a box till I got a complete set. So I got 3 additional 88s and 4 additional 87s and just went through. So I'll start talking about the 88. So the 1988 cards are of this particular design, and the cards are pretty straightforward, and they often would turn out with really pretty much dead-on centering. It's pretty impressive how well these cards came out. The first box, I got most of the expensive cards in it. There were just very few cards that I didn't end up pulling that were dollar cards. And as I opened up the other 3 boxes, the first box I opened up, I collated together with the original set, and I got within 75 cards, so I got really close. In the second and third boxes, the last 2, I pulled those together, and I got 185 away. I got 170 away, and so I was further away from getting one complete set. And then when I pulled the 2 together, I got one complete set and I got 185 cards away from a second set. So overall, getting 4 boxes got me close to 2 sets. It did give me 1 set, and the turnout of all of the expensive cards were, so I have the set there, and I basically had like 2 additional Nolan Ryan record breakers. I had 3 additional Cal Ripken Juniors. I had 4 total Nolan Ryans, 3 doubles, 5 total, 4 doubles of Gwynn, 3 doubles of Maddox, and on. Only 1 Cal Ripken Jr. double, 1 Tom Glavine double. So at the end of the day, that box worked out pretty well. It was a lot of fun to do, and the cards, by having all the extra cards, I was able to make one set that was pretty close to pristine, very well centered, and for these cards it really matters a lot. So you can kind of see that the centering is almost dead on all of these cards. And overall, I noticed that with the box. While some cards like this Nolan Ryan have a pretty decent amount of offset appearance, by and large, the cards did come out well. And there were 5 error cards potentially, and the only errors that I actually got were the 2 Al Leiter cards and the 3 checklists. These are not in the actual set. They're the only cards missing from the set because they came as errors, and I want to put the correcteds in there. But the other 3 cards were all correcteds. And both the first box and the other 3 that I got, they had the same errors and they had the same correcteds. So there was not a transition that occurred between these particular boxes. Overall, that was a lot of fun, and it worked out all right, and it was fairly affordable. The 87 was a whole different ball game. So like I said, the first box I got was mostly doubles, and I wanted to see if that was kind of like a tradition or if that was an anomaly. And of the 4 boxes that I got, the first 3 boxes were like all of the 88s. They were pretty much all regular, almost no doubles cards. In fact, one box had absolutely no doubles in it. But the last box that I opened was mostly doubles, and in fact, it was even worse than the first box. The first box had 218 doubles. The last box I opened had 220. So already I was a little bit behind, and even worse than that, when I collated the entire set together, I came 16 cards shy. So I'm missing 16 cards. I bought 5 boxes of 500 cards. That is 2,500 cards. 3 sets is 2,400 cards. So I have more cards than 3 sets, and I didn't even get 1. So that was a bit frustrating. One of the quirks that I found in the process of this was, originally I got 2 Joe Nycro cards in the first box. Well, I got about 5 in the second box, and they actually have the 2 different versions. So one of the versions has the text on the outside, the other one has the text on the inside. And the text on the inside is the corrected version, and the text on the outside is the error. So actually, there were multiple printing runs when they were making these boxes. So you can actually get different versions in these boxes if you buy boxes from different phases in the process. I also noticed that with these boxes, while the corners for the most part are pretty sharp, on the inside there's a bead here, and not so much here, but right here there's a bead, and sometimes one card will get wedged in there, and when it does, it gets fairly warped. And when I mean warped, I mean really badly warped, to where it just has all this hook, and the whole top of the card gets bent in. In the last box that I got one Barry Sanders card, or excuse me, one Barry Bonds card, and it was not one of the doubled. It was a single card, and it was actually tucked in there, fit into that bead, or wedged into the bead. And when I pulled it out, the centering was pretty much spot on. The problem was that it was somewhat warped, and so I had to figure out how bad was the warping, and ultimately the warping wasn't as bad as the Bill Caudill card here. So once I get it inside a case, it's going to be fine. And right now it's being pressed inside the pile of cards. But it was one of the 3 that I got, and it was a little frustrating that kind of like the gum stains that you get in packs, that one of these cards ended up being one of these warped cards ended up being one of the Barry Bonds. But it is the odds for these cards is 3 sets, so I should have 3 versions of every single card. And with the Barry Bonds, like I said, I got 3 copies of that card, so that worked out right. But with the 16 cards I was missing, one of those cards was actually Mark McGwire, and that's the second most valuable card in the box. So what really stung was the fact that not only did I not get 1 set, but of the only 16 cards, one of them was one of the most significant cards. Whereas, let's see here. So the final number of cards that I got were, like I said, no Mark McGwire or Ozzie Smith. That was another one of the totally missing cards. But I got 3 Barry Bonds and 3 Cal Ripkens. I got 4 Nolan Ryans. I got 5 Barry Larkin rookies, 2 Rafael Palmeiro rookies. I got 5 Jose Cansecos. I only got 1 Roger Clemens All-Star. I got 5 Will Clark rookie cards, and 4 Bo Jackson rookie cards. And so overall, I did really well. I pretty much hit for the average, which I would expect across the whole range. I'm surprised that 5 boxes wasn't enough to get 1 set, but that's just kind of that's the way that it works. Is you're dealing with odds. And the cards do all look great. I did notice that the color of the wood changes based upon, I guess, the actual print of that particular sheet. So for individual players, this wood grain color will change. But the cards, as you can see, they all came out really great. Bo Jackson rookie is one of the more outstanding rookie cards of the decade. And having all these extra cards, like with 88, it gave me the ability to get properly centered cards for almost the entire set. And while the 88 cards were more consistent, the 87 cards were much more all over the place. And I was glad I had all the extra cards, because the set I came up with is mostly centered. Most of the cards that really didn't quite work out were the cards I only had 1 copy of, or some of the 2. But I also came to learn a little bit about the centering issues on 87 cards. So for these cards, the centering appears to be for these three borders, which is what I would expect, and this actually hangs down slightly out of center for some of these cards. In this card it appears to be about properly balanced, but when you get a card that's fairly off-centered and you're trying to figure out what the best centering configuration is, oftentimes this will throw you off, because for some cards, if you get these three lines up, this will actually be down close to the border. So these are the three sides that you're trying to line up in order to get a card that actually has the proper centering, and you're not really worried about down here on the bottom. So as far as the error cards in 1987 go, there are 5 error cards just like in 88, and I told you about the Joe Nycro. For the other 3 cards, the other 4 cards, I did not find the error cards in the cards that I got. However, to be fair, for 3 of those cards I only got 1, so I don't know what they would have been like in the early box. That would have been nice to get. Other than that, this has been a really fun project to go through. I learned quite a bit about things like odds and how the boxes tend to come out. One of the boxes I got actually had, the one that I don't have up here was torn, and some of the cards came out, they fell out and got damaged. But other than that, the cards were all reliably safe, with the exception of that one card that we get caught in the bead. That one was always annoying. The quality of the cards was, at first I wasn't really impressed with the quality of the cards. I was okay with it, but when I got multiple versions of the cards and I was able to go through and find that only 1 or 2 were likely to really be spot on, it really helped out the whole affair. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say regarding all of this. These are really fun boxes to go through. Don't expect to get a complete set if you get 2 or even 3 boxes. If you get 4 boxes, the odds are that you will get a complete set, and the fact that it took me 5 boxes and I still didn't get a complete set, it's not prompting me to get a 6th, because 1, that's expensive for just 16 cards, and 2, it's still not a guarantee that I'm going to complete the set. But it's a fun process, and you actually do learn a fair bit about the cards of the era as you're going through. You get a lot more familiarity with the designs, and you get a feel for the nature of the sets, as well as the photography. You're spending a lot of time looking at these cards. So I hope that's somewhat informative to you. I hope this wasn't kind of a boring affair. This is a tack on to a box opening I'd done some time ago. If you do like this video, feel free to hit the like button. I hope that you will. Definitely check out other videos and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you very, very much for watching.